Let's talk about the latest cultural icon that we are now being told is evil. This is the iconic album cover for Nirvana's 1991 album Nevermind. Famously features a naked baby in a swimming pool grasping after a dollar bill. The man who appeared as the baby, Spencer Eldon, is now suing Nirvana, including the estate of Kurt Cobain, claiming that the picture is child pornography, that he was essentially entrapped into a sex act against his consent, and that it has completely ruined his life, prevented him from getting a job, prevented him from getting an education, and from generally enjoying himself. I mean, this is a real sign of the times, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, aside from the fact that you can look at this and say, Americans have a penchant for suing people, and like he just wants his check and whatever. There's a
reaching
cynical
for that dollar bill.
Yeah, you do have to obviously, you do have to lay it on thick, don't you? When you're trying to get some money out.
Particularly the fact that he posed for recreations of the picture twice.
Yeah.
So there's a little
and
bit
once
thin.
offered to do so naked. As well.
Yeah.
Quite recently. So.
But it has to be said, the claims are shocking, but not surprising, because we now are in the kind of world that we're in. These claims of particularly the idea that a picture like this of a naked baby is kind of child pornography, or that you would read sick elements into that quite beautiful and iconic photo of it being exploitative, is not uncommon. So we have the kind of twisting of descriptions of abuse or even actually of kind of sexual exploitation and pornography now, where you can really claim that anything has bad motives if you take it out of context. And so in that way, it's quite a telling case, because these, the kind of claims of victimhood in particular are becoming commonplace. I mean, it's also true that there, specifically around images of children, there's a trend now to be and I have to pick my words carefully here, like kind of overcautious about how we depict kids. So I remember being threatened with being thrown out of a swimming pool when I was babysitting for having an underwater camera, when we were obviously just all having fun. There's a kind of paedophile scare to all of this. There's also now trends for parents to be overly cautious of putting up pictures of their bouncing babies, because kids are retrospectively criticizing parents for not getting their consent from their 2-year-old before they put up a picture of them in a nappy. So it's a real fraught nature around the way in which we talk about and depict kids, and also the fraught nature of the cult of victimhood, where you could have the very sad example of an adult claiming that he was physically and emotionally abused by his parents for becoming a star, which essentially is a star.
Yeah, and you can completely understand why you'd be conflicted about it. It is weird. To be associated with any iconic image is obviously a very weird thing. Everyone has seen it. I mean, he said, I think it was in 2007, I feel weird that the whole world has seen me naked. Fair enough. But how does it get from that sort of conflict, or, that inner conflict, to this has literally ruined my life, I can do not, my life is over?
Or it might be money, but we shouldn't be so cynical. But it is interesting, as you both say, that this is the kind of script that you can reach for now, not only because it taps into that kind of language of victimhood, but I think also when you're talking about culture, there's a willingness to kind of presume the worst about stuff that came before, because it dealt in depictions that might seem uncomfortable now, or it dealt in language that we might seem uncomfortable now. So you kind of mash those two things together and you get this case in a strange sort of way. What's interesting, obviously, the response has been, I think, uniformly mocking.
Yeah.
Really. I don't think anyone's particularly taking it seriously. But in deploying that language of trauma and, even to the point of suggesting he was basically a trafficked sex worker and all the rest of it, you do get a bit of an insight into how these things can be weaponized. This is probably just a much more crude and ill-fated attempt to do that, I guess.